Bannerlord Online, an unofficial mod that takes the incredible action RPG Mount & Blade Bannerlord and transforms it into a full-blown MMO, an experience going in that I assumed would build a little upon Bannerlord's existing multiplayer offerings, but ended up getting completely swept off my feet, redefining for me what is possible with fan-created content, and absolutely blowing my mind with the sheer amount on offer. Today we dive back into the battlefields of Calradia in this now massively multiplayer experience, exploring its world, locking swords with its inhabitants, and taking on its challenges. My name's Mitch Mannix, and this is the mind-blowing Bannerlord Online. As always, our journey begins at the character creator, where Bannerlord Online sports a middling amount to craft your chosen hero, with various body types, hairstyles and war paint to choose from, all in the potato-esque style of Mount & Blade. But we need a hero for this journey, so must of course once again call upon the one and only Ralph the Slightly Damp. A true hero indeed from our last outing with the base game, and a man still unsure of the origin of his slightly damp nature, as well as seemingly a little beaten up. But after some of the events last time around, I'm not exactly surprised. Jumping into the EU server out of the 5 available, Ralph's journey begins starting in the settlement of Zionica, where we are given a backstory of fleeing our old life to start anew in Calradia, with the help of our new friend Godric, who after speaking with further sets the scene of the lands being in a state of constant war, with settlements continuously changing hands, and advises we begin by heading to one of the local villages to earn some startup cash. A task that we seek out at once, but not before checking out the town square that has been redesigned as a market square with other players teaming around, trading and setting off on their own adventures. Already an exciting sight to see for anyone that has only experienced the base game. For those new to the series, Mount & Blade centers around building up a character commander that along with their own skills gradually works towards commanding stronger armies to take on the land's factions. Heading out to the nearest village, we uncover another of Bannerlord Online's unique MMO mechanics. Speaking with one of the local farmers, we are able to take part in a multi-tiered farming minigame, preparing the land, sowing seeds and taking care of the local crops, in return for some initial coins. The mechanics around the village's tradable resources being one of many elements of Bannerlord Online that goes far deeper than one might expect for a mod for an existing title. With some initial cash now in hand, we attempt to leave and report back in with our mate Godric, when Ralph is attacked by a gang of roaming looters, and despite a valiant effort gets completely owned, ridding him of some of his coinage, with the looters at least looking very pleased with themselves indeed. Sheepishly returning to Godric, we report in and are sent out to further prepare for the campaign ahead, being tasked with grabbing some gear upgrades. But with Ralph not being able to help himself with the temptation of the arena, now in this massively multiplayer world, stopping by the arena to discover the registration for the Imperial Tournament taking place later on, as well as a chance to dive straight into some quick-fire showdowns, this time with the added spice of being pitted against other players, with Ralph being the towering liability that he is, actually coming out on top in his very first match, and getting another cash injection as a reward for his victory. And it would be worth making a note of his confidence right now, as in the near future, Ralph was in for a rude awakening indeed. With now even more cash due to his win in the arena, we pick up some new gear and take a look around the settlement to track down some potential members for our squad. Bannerlord Online provides opportunities to obtain new recruits in a number of ways, but at this early stage, we look to the city streets to pick up our first soldiers. Okay. Is he just buggering off with my money? Hello? I've just been mugged by an archer. Little bastard. After grabbing a few more recruits and realizing that they did actually tell us they would meet us outside the town, we set about enlisting the max amount of troops possible for our level, generating funds required with a combination of farming and not being able to stay away from the temptation of the arena, again frequently coming out on top, with moves such as Ralph's patented slightly damp reach around. With a small crew now assembled, Ralph began taking on some of the land's bands of looters to start gaining XP and leveling his skills as one would do in the single player, but with Bannerlord Online once again adding some interesting MMO flair into the mix, as while taking on one battle we saw that a player had joined the attacking force, leading to them being dropped straight into the battlefield, to team up against the looters and take them down together. Honestly, something that absolutely blew my mind, and a system I wanted to try out for myself. So sure enough, wandered across the map, coming across another player dealing with multiple groups of looters, and jumped straight in to get right into the action alongside the other player commander. A seriously cool system indeed, but also leading to me not being able to help myself, while managing to confuse the crap out of a roaming player, jumping in with Ralph wearing nothing but a dress, marching forward in the name of fashion. Prepare yourself for a fabulous beatdown. Oh, worth it. It was worth it. Working away, leveling up both Ralph himself as well as his ragtag group of soldiers, we made sure to stop off and check out to see what this online variation had in the way of missions to take on while growing in power. Bannerlord Online includes a number of quests picked up from both the local taverns as well as the guard commanders at each major settlement. Missions such as tracking down an army of bandits, providing a town guard with certain units, as well as uncovering and clearing out bandit hideouts are available to earn gold or influence points once completed and handed in, even despite Ralph's horse's obnoxious habit of wandering off mid-conversation. Greetings, what brings you to me? What do you want to talk about? Thank you, take your reward. Can you catch it? But NPC quests are not the only PvE content to get stuck in when building up a character in Bannerlord Online, as this mod also includes group quests for players to take on together, whilst making use of the grouping system, most notably in the form of the Black Claw scenario, added with the release of the economy update at the end of last year. The Black Claw being a weekly quest that consists of 5 stages, and is designed to be taken on with a group of up to 5 players, all controlling their armies together to come out on top against the Black Claw faction, which truly gives way to that co-op campaign feeling within Bannerlord. And given its 5 stages to take on, and the tasty rewards the mode offers, is a really great addition to the PvE content for new and old players alike, and is a great way to team up together and farm for powerful recipes. Bannerlord Online also features some more endgame orientated group content, in the form of the game's Wildlands region, featuring powerful desert bandit clans that are led by formidable NPC leaders, who upon defeat will provide valuable rewards. And with PvP also being free for all in this region, the Wildlands truly becomes a place living up to its name, with all manner of chaos unfolding in the ultimate risk versus reward environment. Ralph, now with deeper pockets following some victories and odd jobs at the land's other villages in the way of mining and woodcutting, once again yearned for competition, or a bagel, it's difficult to tell, and upon seeing the server-wide notification, made a stop off to sign himself up at the land's tournament. Do you remember the confidence that I had before? Ha ha ha, it's coming to roost now. Much more grand than its quickfire counterpart, the tournament is split into several rounds, with the option to pick from a number of loadouts, and with a pre-match lobby to limber up before the battle begins. With the tournament, the competition is far more fierce, as one may imagine, with rewards such as a skill book on the line, with poor Ralph getting absolutely owned, but getting to stick around long enough to see some epic scenes, as well as some skullduggery at play, with clearly some clanmates working together, despite being on the opposing team. The tournament mode is another great addition to build the community of the game, as well as for testing your skills in PvP against some stiff competition, and highly entertaining even if you just go into it looking for a bit of fun. Following such an epic humiliation at the tournaments, Ralph, bagel in hand, once again turned his attention to progression, and it wasn't long before we were gifted with another staple from the single-player offering, by the way of encountering some recruitable companions. Bannerlord Online, like with its gear system that splits gear into a number of different quality types, also features low and high tier companions to collect, gear out and bring into battle, with some even providing highly useful buffs to further enhance their utility. Completing a short quest will unlock certain companions' perks, which range from quite minor to highly useful, such as being able to expand out storage capacity or increase healing times for wounded soldiers. Low tier companions can be obtained quite easily while battling across the land, but to recruit some of the best, players will need to seek out and track down another addition that Bannerlord Online built into the base game, that being its hidden dungeons. These single-player instances are tough as nails, being thrown into a dungeon alone against a whole gang of enemies in an attempt to break out the dungeon's prisoner, and hopefully get hands on a powerful new companion. Safe to say that each attempt was utterly futile, getting completely wrecked on each endeavor, making this yet another system that truly rewards those skilled enough to come out on top. I should have known that things were about to go wrong, however, due to the complete shitshow trying to track down one of these dungeons. And if you couldn't tell in my voice already, Sassy British Man mode has most definitely been activated. For context, other NPC hideouts require the player to be nearby for them to appear, and to be interactable. so in my assumption wandered the land in search after seeing that these hidden varieties randomly spawn around the map. 3 incredibly tedious hours later, I was informed in the Bannerlord Online Discord that these hidden dungeons can in fact be seen from anywhere on the map, and all that's required is zooming out and scanning across the landscape until you track one down, making the hidden dungeons the most easily identifiable NPC camps in the game. And with the existence of clouds on our planet, actually making these hidden dungeons, in fact all things considered, less hidden than the sun. Ralph could actually set himself on fire, completely depants himself, run out into the town square windmilling his tackle around, screaming "I'm Alfie the happy pinwheel," and be more hidden than these hidden dungeons. And if you can't tell, I'm definitely not annoyed by all the time I spent looking for them. Not at all. A Bannerlord MMO offering would not be complete without all-out, full-scale PvP warfare, and for those looking to truly make a name for themselves, Bannerlord Online does not disappoint. Throughout my time spent with the game, not a few minutes would go by without seeing massive clan battles unfolding, taking place in the game's 5v5 PvP engagements. In addition to the open PvP zones, wars can be declared and conflict can be initiated clan versus clan anywhere on the map. Battles consisting of player-controlled lords dueling on horseback, accompanied by their finely tuned armies, was a sight to behold, and really gives potential new players a high mark to reach when progressing through the game. And the clan warfare spreads further than the open-world battles, using the game's caravan system, where players and clans can set up trade posts and with it trade routes to boost their economies, while also running the risk of being tracked down and destroyed by rival faction members. Clans can even capture and ransom out members of the opposing faction to generate income, along with, I'm sure, creating a fair amount of drama amongst players. Generated materials can be used to craft gear for players and their clanmates to use or sell on the entirely player-driven economy, turning this once quite solitary-feeling strategy RPG into a truly sandbox MMO experience. Overall, the work and progress made by the team behind Bannerlord Online is nothing short of mind-blowing. The multiplayer co-op battles taking place across the land, the clan system supported by the ever-growing economy updates, feeding both into solo and group player experiences, the already present mechanics tweaked to enhance the MMO playstyle, along with completely new additional content added to the game, absolutely radicalizes the player experience, and is a complete game changer, with this already top-tier strategy RPG. Skills work in a similar way to the base game, while fitting perfectly into the MMO format, with a number of skills to specialize in while progressing through the game, along with building up the player's army. And now after over 40 hours with Bannerlord Online, can tell that they have been adjusted to sit into a format more focused on lengthy progression, although of course with the odd way to hone in on individual skills here and there. I honestly thought going into this mod that it would be a cool way to link up with some other players for the odd battle and possibly some PvE, but never imagined that there would be so much on offer here along with it all working so well together. Bannerlord Online is not without its downsides however, and certainly won't be for everyone, such as the case with literally any other lootable PvP MMO. If not taken in by the faction warfare, I can see players hitting the same wall with the base game once you have a decent amount of levels under your belt and are getting tired of NPC battle after battle. Not having the ability to speed up time as seen in the single player for obvious reasons does make travelling also quite tedious. Bannerlord Online is not a game that you can expect to go into and be a force to be reckoned with overnight, and real progress will be tied to if and when you join up with other clans and groups, but from where I'm sat that's what makes sandbox MMOs shine the brightest. And overall, as with so many other MMOs, this game is still very grindy, so new players can expect some slowdowns in the form of waiting for your hero to heal up in settlements, and spending a fair amount of time working jobs for cash, which was especially problematic for Ralph, who seems to have an irrational hatred of trees.
Die, you bastard!
Being a PvP RPG with loot on the line, there is also a fair amount of salty back and forth in the chat bickering over the most recent PvP engagements, and with no sieges currently in the game, it still does give the single player offering some edge if you're looking to just settle down at a more relaxed pace, slowly taking over the land and enjoying what Bannerlord has to offer. But for those looking to take things further, Bannerlord Online cannot be overlooked. With its player-driven economy, PvE and PvP offerings, and incredibly fun co-op and competitive systems, taking this game that is already so good at immersing its player into its war-torn world, and cranking it up to a whole new, incredibly impressive, massively multiplayer level. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played Bannerlord Online or any other cool RPGs or MMOs? Either way, I'm keen to get your thoughts down in the comments. Please drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, as that truly helps me out. If you're into RPGs, MMOs, or hey, just looking for a laugh or two, you're in the right place, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an upload. I want to give a massive shout out to the channel supporters who help in keeping the content coming. If you're interested in getting access to all sorts of extras including bloopers, behind the scenes, and full exclusive videos, as well as getting your name featured at the end of every video, the link to the channel Patreon is down in the description, along with the channel Discord, which is free to anyone, so get on in there. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.
Shit.
Jesus, calm down!
Oh dear lord, what have I done? Standing upon his steed like a Segne, the former being mostly due to his reputation of being slightly less than accurate with his spells for unknown reasons.